if you really want to become successful, you'll have to find your own way. I mean, obviously, a part of the solution is starting a business, but starting a business in what is something you'll really have to figure out yourself. And I know I'm going to start a business later, but I just haven't figured out in what yet. And instead of trying to rush again into it, because I've done that a couple times in the past, rushing into ideas of other people, I'm not going to do that anymore because I know that. I mean, I used to do it to just prove to myself that I could take action, and I've proven that to myself, and I think it would be stubborn to keep on playing the game with the same strategy. I think I have to change the strategy a little bit. Really figuring out what my way, what my passion, well, not really passion, but what my strengths are that I can use in a business context, and I haven't really figured that out yet. But I'm definitely not taking it easy, so I don't have to worry about myself not being disciplined enough and stuff like that. But I feel like the most important thing is to just never stop desiring that image of the future that you want. As long as, you're really like kind of obsessed, but yeah, close to that. I would say actually, yeah. I would say as long as you're obsessed with the image of the future that you want and you're working hard towards it and you expose yourself to luck, meaning that, you can see opportunities and, you don't back off on taking action on those opportunities, then, I mean, yeah, it only takes one good shot and that can kind of like get you going. And I feel like as long as you don't give up on not getting any results for the inputs that you do, eventually, you'll make it. And if you don't, well, you've tried until you died, and that's also a meaningful story that you left behind for the community, for the people on this planet. And yeah, maybe we shouldn't seek results. I don't really know what the answer is, but I do know that the answer is not something rooted in what you emotionally want in the present moment. So I'm not too scared of, one day not driving a Lamborghini or a sports car, I feel like as long as I work hard and try my best to become successful and expose myself to luck as much as possible and get better and better at that every single week, then yeah, I hope eventually it will meet my road. And honestly, practically speaking, that's why I never really feel like I'm doing enough, right? Because yeah, I always feel like I'm not exposing myself to luck enough. Even though I have opportunities sometimes and I, take action on those opportunities, at the end of the day, they weren't really anything at all sometimes. I've had not a super famous podcaster, but some guy that I sent a reel that I made for him, and then he was like, "Oh, sick, I'm gonna call you tomorrow." Then he didn't call me that day. Then the day after that, he said he'd call me, then he didn't call me again. So I don't know. It came my way, and I was ready. I answered his messages, stuff like that. I was ready to make an offer, but like in those situations, I can't help but to think that it's all my fault again, because I'm not persuasive enough, or I'm not cold calling around and all those things. But that's always because there are other things I can do, and then I kind of don't have to embarrass me from failing the cold calls or whatever. Yeah, it's just complex. Yeah, I don't know. I just think too much about it as well. People who become successful sometimes, I mean, from what I see, they just pursue one thing, and then they kind of sacrifice all the rest, and then they take action on that, and then eventually they make it. But I just have too much different things I'm doing at the same time, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna kill for what, what I'm gonna sacrifice for what. But yeah, I mean, I haven't been playing the piano lately at all. A little bit of guitar, but I remember I was so passionate about it too. So it's like, how much does it matter, It's like if I had unlimited money, unlimited time, and nowhere to be, then I would play the piano and stuff like that. But life is complex and I'm not smart enough to figure it out. So that's kind of why I'm in this position, you know. And it's not that I'm okay with this, you know, I'm actively trying to journal and do all these things, but yeah, I'm just not strong enough and a little bit too stupid, I guess. And I'll have to keep on trying and improving until the day I can be that guy who just kind of like flawlessly executes a plan. But for now, I don't know. I'm just not there yet. And I know I have to be careful with the words I choose and not feeding myself ideas, because then you start believing what you say, you know, because it tends to make sense sometimes, you know, but I believe I can become a millionaire. I always say I want to become a millionaire before 25. But yeah, time is ticking very loudly right now. And because I have an internship, so I'm in my last semester of uni, about to have an internship. And I was thinking to maybe make a great effort and then start working there. But then I'm just scared that, you know, all my focus, energy and time and resources will go to that. And before I'll know, I'll be 25 and not even being 10% of the way there, maybe, you know? And it's kind of complex because like living day to day won't solve that problem, right? You can't like just put in good efforts and then see what happens the next day. I mean, you really do need a plan. That's something that's clear to me. Something that has become clear to me is that you do need a plan, you know? People who work hard, but they don't have a plan, usually, you know, they are just hard workers, you know, they don't really become successful. I feel like if you want to become successful, I mean, when I'm saying this, I mean financially, then you need to work hard, but you also need a plan, you know. And as long as you don't have a plan, as long as you're not taking action on that plan, that will somewhat get you there, you know, because you never really know. I mean, usually the plan never works out as it does, but it does move you towards that direction instead of the opposite direction or some other direction. That's not really gonna bring you closer there, you know. Anyways, I feel like you do need a plan. And as for me, you know, I don't have a clear plan, and that's maybe why that I'm working hard, but I don't know on what really, to be honest. You know, my grades have gone up in uni. That's something. I've been working harder on that, but to me it's not meaningful enough, right? I'm not really passionate about uni, you know. It's kind of just something I do. And for the older people, I mean, the works, you know, your jobs, it's kind of the same, you know. You work hard on that, but yeah, it's for the money. But yeah, you could be working hard and earn money in different ways, earn more money if you have a plan. So that's really the thing, right? Jim Rohn said that, I mean, you can work hard on your job and do fine, but you can work hard on yourself and make a fortune. You know, what he meant with that is, you know, I mean, he said work hard in both parts of the sentence, right? I don't think that you have to work much harder to become successful. I just feel like you need a plan. And yeah, maybe we all need to plan a bit more instead of living our lives day to day. For those like me who have gotten down the art of working hard already, then let's start focusing on a plan together. You know, let's start making a plan. You know, after I finish recording this, I'll try and just sketch out a plan, maybe start recording more, do these a bit more often. I don't know if this is something that you like watching, you know. I'll try to just post something a bit raw like this online and then chop it up in reels for the short form content warriors. Yeah. Because I figured out I had to start recording for myself again too, because yeah, I've been recording for other people, and at least when I record for myself, I get something in return, and I'm not getting paid for the work I do for the other people right now, and sometimes I'm really editing their content for hours and hours, and I am at a point in life where I really start valuing my time more and more, as, you know, there is a cost to it, you know. there is a cost of opportunity that I'm missing out on, building my own kind of empire. I should do that too. Yeah, I really need to start taking action on something. I just need to find someone that I can provide value for, and try to do that as good as possible, and just scale from there. It's not as complex once you make a plan and start taking action on it, but you do need a plan. And the plan might not work out, but then you need to make a plan again, because as long as you work without working on that plan, you're walking in the woods. You're just walking in the woods. I mean, you need a map, you need a direction, and you need to know where your treasure is on that map, Because if you don't know where your treasure is, if you don't know what your treasure looks like, then you're just wandering around, right? And funny thing, on the app I'm building, a wanderer, someone who wanders through the woods, is level 0, because the man has no plan. The man is just walking around, and it's good to work hard, but it's better to work hard and have a plan. Let's have it at that. So without further ado, I'll see how I can turn this into something that is a bit enjoyable to watch, because I was talking with a friend last night, and he's like a graphic designer and stuff like that, and he has some eye for content creation, and he was right. I've been making kind of content just to speak about self-improvement, but at the end of the day, we're all saying the same. We're all saying work hard, have a plan, have discipline and stuff like that. And I really need to kind of change things around so that, I don't know, it's a piece of content that's fit for watching in your free time. Because I mean, obviously there's a small portion of the people that watch content for self-improvement, but the majority, 80-90%, are watching content on their free time when they're done working, So yeah, I should try to make this content a bit more enjoyable, maybe joke around a bit and stuff like that. Again, I need a plan on that as well. Planning. That's what we all need. And as much as it looks burdensome, or kind of like a burden to make a plan, it will just bring more purpose to your hard work that you are already putting in anyways, You might think that having a plan is like extra work, but it will just bring labels on the work you do, meaningful labels. What I mean with that is, what you will do will suddenly make sense, Because honestly speaking, what we do now, if we really think about that, if we sit down and we think it through, I mean, quickly enough, you'll realize that it doesn't really make a lot of sense. We're all working hard, at our studies, at our jobs, to at the end of the day, get enough to live without problems. But I don't know, does it have to be that way? I'm not sure. And when we look at people who, I mean, obviously we have to be careful comparing ourselves with people who always show that they're doing so amazing and have all these things, but I definitely think it's possible to go through life without having to always work for being left alone in peace and building your family and your little environment, your little piece of land on this planet. So I don't think it has to be work so you can buy a bit of food and have a good car, give your kids what they need and what they want sometimes. And I don't think that life has to be that way. I think you should be allowed to work hard and then play hard as well, like they say. Work hard and do kind of whatever you want after that, whenever you want, but have that own program in your mind where you kind of autonomously work hard from time to time and really contribute to the community, bring value to the community. And I feel like everyone has to work hard, but I feel like, the people who played smart, they deserve to, to live life, a bit more enjoyable than just getting by, getting around, as they say. Anyways, 18 minutes. should be enough. I have a couple of goals for this week that I need to kind of finish. Went to the gym this morning, so that's checked. But yeah, I need to catch up with some courses. And yeah, but next week definitely the goals that I'll set are a bit more for myself than for uni, because I've been working a little too much for uni and a little too less for myself, and I haven't been feeling great about that, to be honest, you know. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you want to let me know something, you know, if you have an idea about the things we talked about, let me know in the comments. Drop a like, that always helps. Drop a dislike if you didn't like it, so I get that feedback as well. And without further ado, you know, take action, make a plan, and that's it. I'm out. Ciao.